Hello and welcome to Good Game, the show for gamers.
By gamers.
I'm Bajo.
And I'm Junglist.
This week we take a look at Halo 3 multiplayer. Time to get excited or more of the same?
We'll be strumming out a few tunes out of the 80s with the new Guitar Hero.
And old school meets next gen as we accept a Roffle Cup challenge from some of Australia's senior citizens.
Plus more from Aya and the Duck.
But first, here's Gamers News. This just in, new research has revealed that the average age children begin video gaming has fallen from around 8 years of age to just over 6.5. The report Kids and Consumer Electronics Trends 3 noted that portable games were particularly popular with younger gamers, with just under 40% owning a handheld device, while just under 30% of children had access to a console. The report also noted that 70% of households that have children between the ages of 4 and 14 own a video game system.
This just in, British gamer and student Kieran O'Neill is well over $1 million richer after selling his video streaming site Holy Lemon to handheld entertainment. O'Neill started the site 4 years ago before YouTube as a way of distributing his Flash animations to his friends. He's now working on an online magazine and forum for gamers and finishing his degree.
Senior editor at Fortune magazine Jeffrey O'Brien has reported that each employee of Nintendo has generated $2.5 million of revenue each. He took Nintendo's total revenue, over $8 billion, and divided by the number of employees to arrive at the figure. Microsoft employees generated over $600,000 each, and Google staff just under $1 million.
Konnichiwa gamers, can you remember the name of this retro game? Here's a hint. It involved saving a lady in distress. Answer at the end of the show.
Samuel on the forum recently asked what the difference between AA and AF is. AA stands for anti-aliasing, which is a technique used to make pictures on screen appear smoother. Images are made out of square pixels, so when you want to display a diagonal line, you get an effect called staircasing, which produces jaggies. Anti-aliasing fixes this by blurring the edge of the line, giving a smoother, more even appearance. You can easily see the difference between this aliased line on the left and this anti-aliased line on the right. The line on the right is clearly much smoother. In-game, the effect is much subtler, yet when you compare the two images here from Half-Life 2 side by side, there really is quite a difference. Anti-aliasing requires much less processing power than it used to, and most modern graphics cards can handle anti-aliasing on at least 2 or 4 times comfortably. AF stands for anisotropic filtering, which is a technique used to reduce distortion as objects get further and further away and their polygons become overly stretched. You can easily tell the difference between two scenes with anisotropic filtering on and off. In this first picture, we have a non-filtered image, while this one shows just how dramatic the effect of AF is. AF does require a large amount of processing power, so only turn it on with caution. A normal graphics card should be able to cope with 2 to 4 times, but a late model card should easily be able to cope with 8 times. You can also crank AA right up on a late model graphics card all the way to 16. Lower these only if you have performance issues. For a good quality picture, I'd recommend 4 times AA and 4 times AF. See you next time.
And the winner for this week's forum review is... Good game!
Halo fans with cash to spare invested in Crackdown earlier this year.
And while Crackdown was a worthy game in its own right, the main reason for this was that Crackdown players get access to the Halo 3 multiplayer beta.
But if you couldn't afford your own copy of Crackdown or an Xbox Gold Live subscription, have no fear, Good Game is here with our Halo 3 multiplayer beta preview.
We realize just how much you empty-pocketed fraggers want to see the game, so let's look through the widescreen window.
Well, at first glance, it plays a lot like Halo 2, but if you look closer, it's even more like Halo 1.
What the hell does that mean?
It's even more deathmatchy, if that was possible.
If you actually went and played Halo 1, you'd really see how much the graphics have improved. Shields and force field barriers look great in HD.
The level design adds to the deathmatchy feel. Cool details like being shot by the Guardians if you walk out of bounds are in place, and force field barriers do more than just look great. No shots or grenades can go through them, so they end up adding a fun element to gameplay as well. And there's heaps of new weapons scattered all over the place. Experienced headshotters will do okay with a standard issue assault rifle, but newer players will want to ditch that ASAP for one of the bigger weapons.
The Needler is back and much more powerful, but you can't dual wield it now.
The Spartan laser is a one-shot, one-kill, no matter what the enemy is in. Warthogs, wraiths, whatever. However, it does take a few seconds to fire.
There's also the option of detaching a turret and walking around with it. Doing so makes you slower and limits your ammo, but it's well worth it. Think Master Chief with a Rambo chain gun.
There's the Spiker, and how could we forget the Man Cannon, which is much less erotic than it sounds. You can use the Man Cannon to launch yourself halfway across the map. But why stop there? Why not launch grenades or warthogs?
You've got spiked grenades that stick into walls and grav lifts.
Bubble shields and mines.
There's also a smaller version of the Warthog called the Mongoose. It goes faster but doesn't shoot. I really didn't end up using the Mongoose tactically at all. It's quite fun riding around in that.
There's the option to record the demo of the match you just played, and you can even upload it to your friends on Xbox Live.
Needless to say, it's shaping up well. It's very Halo, and I'd say it's quite evolutionary as opposed to revolutionary.
September 25th is when Halo 3 is scheduled for release. The multiplayer is running smooth, and we can't wait to see the campaign.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah, that's a place.
Do you know what this is? He's a Super Saiyan! Well, you guys live short and pretty Yeah, that's real professional. Richard Farkas with a plane in the background. Welcome to Gamer Tonight. Oh, that's just a Boeing 747. Don't mind that. Okay, okay. His grandma's lawn on Tuesdays after school, during server maintenance, whose social life is driven by an... Start over. Well, as far as MMO players stereotypes go, terrible acne, who plays for your internet avatar to compensate for
What you don't have.
Whose social life is driven by overweight 14-year-old, but my work here is done.
Right, it's done. Ross, you're busting my...
Good game!
Nick Clarkson, thanks for joining us on Good Game.
Thank you for having me.
So what's new in Juice 2?
We've taken the original game, which it did fairly well, and we've learnt from our lessons which were wrong with it. The first game was very unforgiving in the way that you ended up spending a lot of your money repairing your vehicle, and it didn't leave you enough money then to buy other vehicles or to actually improve the current car that you had. We've sort of forgone that now, so there's still damage within the game, but you don't have to fix it. It automatically rights itself at the end of the race, and the emphasis is on using the money that you do win to improve your car, to customise it, to juice it up, and then also to buy further vehicles. And also then we've tagged on the Hot Import Nights licence as well to give the game real sort of focus and feeling. Hot Import Nights is an organisation that has car shows around the States at the moment, although they are looking to go global. And the idea is that crews will take their modded cars, so this is cars that people have taken, they've added exhausts and body kits and souped them up, juiced them if you like, and then they try and enter competitions to win prizes and just show off their car.
Tell us about the different race modes.
We've split it into the conventional circuit racing, where it's around a number of laps around a track, and the other major factor that we've added into this one is drifting, where they take a car around generally sort of a track with lots of curves, and they get the car to go sort of sideways around the curves, and we've added that in. It's very hard to master, but once you've done it, and the buzz that you get for actually chaining a few corners together is fantastic.
Tell us about the customization.
There are visual modifications to your car, so you can add body kits or panels onto your car. In particular, we're proud of the paint shop, and you can put up to 50 different layers to really give a good customization feel to your vehicle. And then, of course, there's the turbo systems, newer brake systems, better exhausts, and so on and so forth. So you can really go to town and juice up your vehicle, and that will improve the value of the vehicle, which you can then sell online should you wish.
So there's a whole buy, sell, trade, and bet system online.
Yeah, or you can either play the game where you just want to customize cars and sell cars and bet. You can make money that way, or you can actually just go and race.
Can you tell us a bit more about the betting system online?
You can bet as a racer against other racers that you will beat them. If you're gutsy enough to do it, you can pick up and play against other players. Rather than for money, you actually lose the car, or you win the car if you're particularly good. Another great aspect of the game is the ability to actually watch a race occur, but as you bet money, you will get small sort of credits that you can either cheer for the guy that you want to win, in which case he'll get a notification in his screen and he'll hear the cheer and he'll actually get a little bit of nitrous added to his tank, or you can use the credits to boo the opponents to try and put them off, to put them under pressure, and that also has the added effect of taking a slight amount of nitrous off of him.
The car racing genre's competitive scene is dominated by Need for Speed and Gran Turismo. How are you going to combat this?
The fact that Gran Turismo is far more a real game where it's proper sort of driving models and there's far more level of realism in it. Need for Speed, on the other hand, is similar to what we're kind of doing, but they kind of take this Hollywood stance to it. What we've done is taken the modding scene, we've actually gone and researched it, we've got a proper modding event around us, and we like to think that ours is kind of real world. All I want them to do is pick it up, play it, and afterwards come away maybe a little bit sweaty, but having enjoyed themselves.
Nick Clarkson, thanks for joining us on Good Game.
Thanks, it's been my pleasure.
The Metal Gear Solid franchise is all about stealth, sneaking, and hiding in cardboard boxes. Portable Ops takes this big game and puts it on a small screen.
The story continues from Metal Gear Solid 3. It's 1970 and you wake up in a partially built nuclear missile station. And to kick things off, you're tortured in a very unpleasant place.
Simply apply the right type of pain to the right degree at just the right location. It's always been my policy for persuasion.
Cleverly animated cutscenes reveal new information about familiar characters. All of the single-player missions are plot-driven, and they do a good job of reusing the levels to save on disk space.
You'll be searching for secret documents in prisons, eavesdropping on soldiers, creating distractions using dirty magazines, and dragging unconscious soldiers back to your truck for a little join my tea chat and a cup of tea.
Is there really cups of tea?
Well, no, there's a tea icon for your independent units, but no, there's no actual drinking of the tea.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
The storyline takes up a huge portion of the gameplay, and you almost spend more time fiddling and reading than you do actually playing the game. It's a complicated plot. If you like getting into RPG storylines like this, the twists and turns will keep you guessing the whole way through.
There's real depth in the gameplay. At first, the recruiting system is time-consuming and verging on boring, but it adds a unique dynamic to the game. Some units have technical or medical backgrounds, and placing them in their appropriate section gives you rewards in-game.
You can spend a lot of time sussing out the dudes in your squad. To an extent, they can blend in with the enemy, making them more useful than Snake in some situations.
Spies report back on new weapons or supplies that become available, so you can go back into these areas and gear up. You can also skip time if you want to go under the cover of darkness or regenerate some health.
Missions are quick to cater for the gamer on the go.
If you like customization and stats, then there's a lot for you here.
If you like setting up strategies for the perfect stealth attack, that's in there too.
If you like just running in, kicking, choking, and interrogating everything you can, then you're sorted. In fact, there's quite a lot packed into this little UMD, Joe.
They take it a step further too by allowing you to recruit outside the game. You can trade characters online, and there's this weird access point system that allows you to recruit via network.
Yeah, it was definitely outside the box with that one, but I have two gripes with the game, Jung, and that's with the camera controls and the cross and circle buttons.
Explain yourself, Bajo.
Well, basically, the camera tracking and setup drives you crazy the whole way through. You can completely customize each button, but I just couldn't find a combo that worked.
Yeah, it is a bit flicky at times, but what's with the X and the O button?
Now, don't mock me for my silly gripe, but in all my gaming experience, X has been confirmed and circle has been back. So why in the world did they reverse it? It goes against the flow of my brain, Jung.
Besides Bajo's brain problem, this game is everything Metal Gear Solid fans yearn for. I'm giving it 8.5 sneaky chickens.
You know, I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. I'm going for 7.5 chickens. It's good to be back on solids. Well, we've got our hands on Guitar Hero Encore Rocks the 80s. Are you ready for a jam session, Jung?
Let's do it!
Well, we've had a bit of a thrash, Jung. What do you think?
As far as gameplay, from what I can notice so far, there's a lot more hand contortion-y combos with 3 buttons, especially 3 buttons together. What did you think?
Well, not surprisingly, it's all 80s themed, so if you're a fan of 80s music, you're going to get a kick out of it. Jung, did you notice they took out the rhythm option in co-op?
Yeah, I never really cared for that option anyway. At the moment, this is only coming out on PS2. There's nothing announced yet for Xbox 360. They've announced 30 new tracks, but the full track list hasn't been announced yet, so keep an eye on that one.
It's not Guitar Hero 3, there's nothing new here except for the tracks, but it's a way to add more tracks to your playlist, so expect it late July.
La la la, so you think you can't game.
Welcome to Aya's Wii Tennis Coaching Clinic 101. Wii Tennis is an easy game that even these guys can pick up and play, but unless you want to play like them and get beaten by all your mates, you'll need to lift your game to the next level. First of all, what you need to understand is how different actions using the Wii remote will allow you to perform different strokes. Anybody can swing around wildly and hit the ball, but why don't you try putting some spin on it? To do a top spin, all you need to do is hold the Wii remote, and as you're hitting the ball, twist it towards the screen. And to do backspin, just do the opposite and twist it back. Now let's add some power to your game. Normally to serve, you press the A button or lift up your Wii remote, and to hit the ball, you swing. However, if you hit the ball at the top of your ball toss, you'll perform a rocket serve, and the ball will streak across the court before anybody can see it.
30.
But what happens when somebody does this to you? Well, try sliding your hand down the Wii remote and holding it a bit further down. This will give you enough acceleration that if you time your shot just right, you'll be able to hit a return straight across the court, and he won't know what hit him. Literally.
Love 15.
Now to this week's challenge. Go to the player selection screen and set all 4 player slots to your Mii. You'll be now in control of all 4 players, and things can get a little bit wacky. How long can you maintain the rally for? Post it up on the forums and let me know. Until next time, this is Aya, out.
You know, Badge, if you asked me last week, I would have said we don't need another single-player RPG.
It's true, Jung. If you did a slash play to my RPG experience, I think we probably could have solved global warming, or maybe learned how to play the banjo.
That's right, but along came Silverfall, essentially the same game with one timely twist, some really well-implemented cel-shaded graphics. It starts off with the city of Silverfall being attacked by an army of darkness, and you being confronted with an enemy that cannot be killed.
You go on a journey over a large world. It's actually a bit shorter than most RPGs though, only about 12 hours, and that includes all the side quests. Say, Jung, I've run out of spider eggs for my special Bajo spider omelette stew.
Oh noes.
Oh noes indeed. But there's a spider due north of here which can give them to you. She doesn't like strangers. However, if you retrieve some, I'll give you this wooden spoon with +2 eating.
Wow, I really need to buff my eating too.
It'll be good experience for you. There's a lot of skills to learn, and it's good to see that you're not limited by a class. It's all about specialization. You can go for that full archer set, or you can learn healing at the last minute.
This means lots of options. It can be quite handy for a melee berserker to jump into a group of enemies and use an ice spell to freeze them all before he starts hacking on them.
The only limitations lie in the whole science versus nature theme. As you do quests, they'll align you either with nature or technology. This limits the skills you can learn and also the items you can use.
It sounds like a good idea, but it was poorly implemented. You can't actually ignore this whole thing throughout the whole game. One cool thing about it though is that the city of Silverfall rebuilds itself according to your alignment. So if you choose technology, you'll start to see lots of gears, levers, and mechanical carts everywhere.
While we're on the subject of questionable game design, as you level up, all the enemies around you level up as well. This is a mechanic to keep things challenging throughout the game, but it only half succeeds.
It only half succeeds because the game is inherently easy. Once you find an attack formula that works, it lasts you the whole way through.
This is a problem which applies to a lot of RPGs, especially MMOs. A better way to do it is to have more diversity in the things you're fighting rather than just tacking on extra hit points.
More thinking, less clicking.
Exactly. More adapting and less grinding.
Here are my heroes. Welcome. Welcome to Cloudworks, my very dear friends.
Side quests can award you companions on the way, and we found that once you've got a few companions and some potions in your bag, you're pretty much unstoppable. Potions are cheap and spammable, although there's no hotkey for potions, so you'll have to open up your inventory every time.
You can talk simple tactics with your companions as well. You can also gear them up to be as formidable as you, which is where it really gets easy and a bit of a breeze jump, because some bosses you can kill with just 3 clicks.
The territories are divided by long mountain ranges and chasms, which is painful when you're trying to get into the next territory. Luckily, you can portal to any town in the map just by clicking on it.
It supports both LAN and internet multiplayer, but the lag was atrocious and we couldn't really find any games.
It's pretty hardware intensive as well, taking up all of 9 gigabytes, but it's worth it for the cel-shaded landscapes. In fact, I'm sensing a bit of a theme here. There seems to be a lot wrong with this game. There are shortcuts in the dialogue, and if there's too many items on the screen can't handle it and it goes crazy.
And you can't zoom out far enough, and I know this is a technique used to make RPGs look better, but just need to be able to zoom out further.
But with all these bad things, why do we like it?
One thing that I loved is when you die, you have to run naked back to where you died to pick up your gear. Often you're being chased by about 20 enemies. Look, this type of game has been out for a while, which means they've been perfecting the genre. If you're a fan of games like Titan Quest and Diablo, you'll have a bit of fun with this. If you're new to RPGs, this is a great place to start. And for about $60, can't go wrong. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 chickens.
Absolutely. RPGs are all about having a sweet-looking character, and with this in mind, Silverfall's experiment with a cel-shaded RPG is a success. This is multiplied by the beautiful environments, and although it does have serious flaws, they don't bottleneck the experience. I'm giving it 7.5 cel-shaded rubber chickens.
Good game.
I'm here at the Bribie Island Retirement Village in Queensland, where one of their residents, Marion, thinks she's pretty hot at Wii bowling. I've accepted a Roffle Cup challenge. Game on. Okay, Marion, you ready to play?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Well, you know.
Slow.
You'll get it back. Uh-oh. Oh. Would you recommend other older gamers take up video gaming?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's good exercise and it's fun.
By nights, we know you as EJ from GameStop. By days, you're Stuart Brum. How are you, and what is it exactly that you do here?
G'day, Junglist. I'm a Director of Nursing and Care Services. I work for Churches of Christ Care here at Bribie Island Retirement Village. About 8 weeks ago, we introduced a Wii bowling league at the retirement village here, and it's been a booming success.
What gave you the idea to introduce gaming to your residents?
Well, I bought myself a Wii after seeing a demonstration once and thought this is a very active type of video gaming as opposed to sitting on a couch, a passive type game with just your thumbs. And I thought it would easily transpire across, and the residents take it quite seriously each week to try and outdo each other, and we keep a league table and we print that each week in the weekly newsletter. The number one benefit is the social benefit. It brings people together around a common interest and they have a lot of fun doing it. We have a lot of laughs, a lot of smiles, but it also has a physical aspect. It keeps people active. They have to be up and playing the Wii.
The mobility of the patients here is really important. This particular game keeps their hand-eye coordination skills up. It improves fine motor skills because they've got to press that button, and it also their gross motor skills in having to lunge and even just getting up and down out of the chair. They don't even realise they're exercising.
Oh, no, no! It's frame 7, the pressure's on. Marion's about 10 points ahead of me. Let's see what I can do. Oh no! I was one.
So there we go. Just for luck. Nearly.
Well, you seem to beat me every time, so...
I think you're being kind.
Did you hear that? I let her win. Oh, no. How much time would you put into training?
Oh, not much. Only when I play on the Wednesdays. That's all.
I've been training for 6 months. Was it hard to learn how to play?
Not really. It just took a few shots before I did any good.
Oh, yeah. 10th frame, not much I can do now without a turkey. Oh.
Well, wish you luck.
Oh, we'll put it down to home court advantage, eh, Mary?
Okay. You're a noob, junkie.
Well, Marion, looks like you won this one. Good
Thank
game.
you. Good game.
You
Enjoyed
get
it. Thank you.
the Roffle Cup is now yours, and you get
Wow.
an honorary Good Game T-shirt as well.
Oh, how wonderful. I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Did you guess the game this week, gamers?
It was Karateka, released in 1984 on the Apple II. It was the first hit game from John Mechner of Prince of Persia fame and featured some of the most realistic fighting animations of its time. Well, Joan, time for us to go.
Next week is our last episode of the series.
And bragging rights are on the line as we take on some of the best games journalists in the Guitar Hero Roffle Cup.
One of gaming's icons is turning 10. Lara Croft gets a brand new outing to celebrate.
Plus, a look at the upcoming Call of Duty 4, and we chat to its lead developer, Grant Collier.
Till then, gamers, don't forget you can vodcast the show from our site.
Till then, Bajo out.
Junglist out.